and God, David fought the studious nerdiness, however you want to put it, things so hard. I remember him getting so irritated whenever he would have stuff with Dan and Zeke, and like trying to, like, whenever they would have stuff together, I loved it because it would bring out such great comedic moments. But I remember him getting so frustrated because he didn't look cool.
Right.
So he fought against that a lot, which was really frustrating because there was a lot of really great comedic moments.
Yeah.
That got missed because of vanity or what have you.
Right.
But so yeah, I noticed that too in this episode where they kind of really discovered that direction with Justin, which worked really well. And it was a great antithesis for Alex.
Yeah.
Of having her be this kind of slacker, not really wanting to try, and him being really studious and him really caring about a lot of these things. That dynamic worked really well off of each other because they were opposites, you know?
For sure.
Opposites always work, I feel like, really well in comedy and comedy pairings.
And they had good chemistry.
Yeah.
And they really bounced off each other really well. On another note, I had a very red shirt in this episode
and your face
that I had just put on earlier in anticipation of this episode.
Yeah.
And then there was a button on it that was broken, and I tried to rip it off, and I ripped the shirt. So
I know David ripped a Jerry shirt right
I
before
had
this
it for
episode.
15. I should have gone like this, and magic. Fix it.
And then it would have still been ripped because that's a plastic one. I know. I saw that.
Magic isn't real? No. What? No.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so listen, I didn't have the best wardrobe, but what I did get to keep / steal, Disney, which was nice. I love that I'm able to have those today. You know?
And you were so good. I mean, it's nice that I can't really wear the stuff that I took.
Right.
While filming the podcast.
Your dresses are like collector pieces.
They're artwork.
Kind of thing.
They're artwork. I mean, our costume designers were like auteurs with what they were able to make, and especially in such a short period of time. So no, I can't really wear them while filming the podcast. But maybe I can break them out for an episode or two if you guys want. But maybe like a hat or a headband or something. But when we get to the episode. But yeah, it's nice that you have some of those shirts as well.
Is there more synopsises?
There is more synopsis.
I want to hear.
Okay, so when Brad screws up with Larry Tate, then Alex tells Brad that she's no longer interested in him and won't be going to the concert with him, even though he's now available because she's nobody's second choice, which she's a prize. That's what she says, which I love that because damn straight you are nobody's second choice.
Right.
Her head grows because she says something positive about herself. Brad gets weirded out and leaves. Doesn't question that her head grew, just leaves.
Does he see it? Does he? Because I mean,
I think it's kind of hard to miss.
No, he says he comments on it.
Yeah,
he goes, "Wow, I never noticed. You're so you have such a big head or something.
Yeah,
like you're conceited, like as if your head blows up like a balloon, and that's okay."
Brad is the most like accepting person on the planet. He's like, nah, dandruff, sure, Hawaii and China, whatever. Like he's the most accepting human on the planet. And then Justin asked like how long we have to put up with Alex being big-headed, 4 seasons.
And then that's when I
and
solve
that's where
the
you
problem.
Fucking just go like this.
You create a problem and then you can't solve it, and then you solve it like this by letting air out of her ear.
This dynamic of our show makes me laugh so much because it's literally 20 minutes because every episode's 22 minutes, 8 minutes for like commercials. Every episode's 22 minutes. It's 20 minutes of everybody of set up the problem, going, how are we going to fix it? And then 2 minutes of going, oh, here's how. I've known the whole time.
Right.
What?
Listen, they write it and then you say it. What are you going to do?
No, I know, but it always makes me laugh. I'm like, why didn't Jerry just do this before everybody got here? Like,
because then we wouldn't have an episode.
I know. But it is that like, suspense of disbelief that does make me laugh.
So at the end, Selena, supposedly the spell is gone, but she still loves herself and sends her self a tremendous amount of flowers.
I can buy myself flowers.
There's a reference to Hannah Montana or Miley Cyrus. What was that? There was like a reference.
No, the reference is the fact that the flowers, like she's like, oh, I can buy myself flowers. And I'm like, this is like the OG flowers. Miley Cyrus's song. You know where she's like, I
Oh,
can
it's a
buy
song.
myself flowers.
Listen, Jen, I'm fucking 51 years old. I don't know every Miley Cyrus song.
This song, 50 or not, has been playing everywhere. You
but it's
cannot
based on a
escape
song.
it. No, it isn't based on anything. I'm just saying
I know
it
Wrecking Ball.
reminded me.
She was half naked on a wrecking ball, right? Wrecking Ball?
Yes. This is also in reference to Wrecking Ball. So what you say?
Wrecking with the Flowers is in Wrecking Ball?
No, it's, well, I mean, I guess
my
kind
head.
of if you go through all of Miley Cyrus's relationships, I mean, I guess they all have to do with Liam Hemsworth, but no, I mean, I don't fucking know. I don't pay this much attention to Miley Cyrus. No, this scene made me laugh because Alex says, oh, I can buy myself flowers. I don't need Brad, whatever.
Right, and that's
And it reminded me, because literally Miley's song Flowers is about how she can buy herself flowers. So I was like, this is like 10, 15 years before this song. And it was just like, well, Alex is like the OG Miley.
Oh, so
Where
the song
the
came
song
later.
came much later.
Motherfucker,
The
I am
song-
so sorry. I'm just catching up to everything. So that song,
The song came
was
out
later.
this year.
So it did?
The song came out this year.
My head hurts. I don't understand.
I'm like beating my head
Did you
against the
watch
microphone.
Hannah Montana? Were you watching that show?
Not really, because I mean, I was older. That show came out like right before Wizards. Because I remember,
I think it was on for 2 or 3 seasons before Wizards.
Maybe 2.
Yeah.
Because I remember going to the Hannah set while I was waiting the year that I was under contract for Bus Life, which was the pilot that I did before Wizards. With Vanessa Hudgens and Brandon Smith and Moises Arias, who ended up on Hannah Montana. So I was under contract for a year with Disney where I couldn't audition for anything else. I couldn't do any other job. And they knew with like Vanessa, because she had just done High School Musical beforehand.
Well, and this is something that Disney does, that, you know, they will hold you to the contract even if they know they're not going to pick you up because they want to own you.
They knew
Disney.
They knew within the first 3 months, probably of that pilot, that they weren't going to pick it up because they didn't want to lock Vanessa into a show because they were about to, like, you know, High School Musical was testing really well. And I remember going to the Hannah set because I knew Mitchell Musso. He and I had done a movie together when we were kids called Secondhand Lions. Now I'm pulling a U, or I'm going through my IMDb.
I think it's okay.
It is. And I remember the execs being like, I don't know about the show. I don't know. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure you have a pretty good idea.
Going back to my theme, they were lying their asses off.
Well,
those executives, man, they were dealing with children. They were dealing with kids, and I think there was a little bit of control that there was.
But we were
a
products.
Back to what you had said, a little more honesty and truth would have been nice.
yes. But the thing is like yes, the way that we were handled in some situations was
not okay.
Was not okay. Because I remember, like, in the first season of Wizards, like, I got left out of a lot of stuff because I wasn't part of the family and they wanted to focus on the family. And I remember being in my dressing room crying a lot, to the point that my mom was like, if you want to walk, we can go. Like, contract or no contract, like, we can go. Because I was in my dressing room crying because I would show up to bank school hours and you guys were doing interviews.
Love your mom.
Or you guys were, she's the best. But she just was like, or you guys were doing some kind of press junket, or you guys were doing something that I wasn't included on. And to be 14 and to be left out of the group, be the only one left out of a group, sucks.
Yeah.
And I remember my mom saying to one of the executives, don't ever do this to a kid again.
Yeah.
And they did stuff like that. They tried, I'm not going to say they tried their best, but they tried in some senses to make it very kid friendly. And then they just completely missed the mark on other things.
I felt excluded as well. I felt, you know, that we were at, what I saw was, at least in the beginning, or the first 3 seasons, we were an ensemble show.
That's what I felt,
you
too.
know, and to be left out of something, you know, is not, it doesn't feel good, you know. But trying not to take it personally, I think, is important.
Well, and that's something that I've learned as an adult. But when you're 14, you don't have that capacity. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, or not that you don't have that capacity, but you're still learning those kind of things. And so when you're 14, everything feels like a personal attack. And
Of
even things that
course.
aren't personal, which of course that wasn't, it was just a marketing strategy at that point, feels very, very personal.
Well, it's interesting you said market strategy, because when I was first, you know, getting involved with the show, I saw that Hannah Montana had sold $300 million worth of merchandise. And I was like, holy shit. The shows are just like a commercial for the merchandise, you know?
Yeah, but Disney doesn't cut you in on the merchandise.
No. Okay. I don't know if I should say this story or not, but
say it.
Yeah, fuck it, right? Fuck it. Let's start with that. The
Are
headline,
you planning on doing
the
another
headline
Disney
for
Channel
this,
show?
Yeah, but the headline for this little snippet is "fuck it." David DeLuise says "fuck it."
Now I'm scared.
Apparently, even if you negotiate and you get a percentage of the merchandise, right? So that's per the contract.
Yeah.
Like you get whatever, 5% of the merchandise.
Yeah.
Well, it's been where the person who was supposed to get the 5% was like, where is it? You know, I almost looked at my imaginary watch.
Your watch that comes and goes.
And Disney actually said, Disney. That was a big one because I'm pissed.
Yeah.
They said, oh, we don't give you the money. You have to sue us to get it. Right? Hey, thank you so much for watching this clip of Wizards of Waverly Pod. And for the full episode, go to the Wizards Pod YouTube channel. The link is in the description.
And for exclusive weekly bonus content, join our Patreon now. There's a link in the description for that too. Thanks for watching.
Bye now.